Hello, friends from Five Reasons. Welcome back. We are here to talk about the Marlins. Welcome to Marlins on Tap. Of course, this is not the official release of the show, but this is a little bit of an intro, and we're going to do this one day before we do the actual preview of the entire season with the whole staff on the Five Reasons YouTube channel. Yes. And with me today is Christian Chase. We're going to be going over a couple of subjects that are coming out in the last couple of days, right? A couple of days before the beginning of the season, opening days on Thursday. It's Sandy Alcantara against Tyler Glasnow at 4 p.m. at Marlins Park. Marlins Park for now. Tomorrow we'll have some more updates on it, and it's here. We're already here. So how are you, Christian? A lot of time we don't see each other. We don't talk about Marlins. Here we are back at it.
Oh man, it's good to be back. I feel like it was just yesterday we were, live streaming the playoff games.
Right.
It's good to be back. It's been definitely draining talking about spring training Marlins baseball for a month. You know, it's something about not being or not mattering that makes it a little more wearing to continually talk about. I'm excited to get into the season. There's so much to be excited for. As a Miami Marlins fan, and this Marlins on Tap is a really great opportunity for all of us to do so.
Right. You're right. It didn't matter, and the Marlins were winning still. I mean, last year they did it, or 2 years before they did it as well. They run out. I mean, they were great in spring training, and then regular season is different. We'll see what happens this year. But let's go with the first topic of the day. Christian, we do have a second baseman announced already. It's going to be Jazz Chisholm. He was picked over Isan Diaz. Neither of them really had a very spectacular spring training, but I guess they just got tired of waiting on Isan, and this is Chisholm's time. So, how do you feel about this decision?
I think after looking at spring training, it was definitely the right decision, right? If you're going to choose between just Jazz Chisholm and Isan, I think John Birdie is also a great option to play second if Jazz continues to struggle. It's kind of crazy when you're thinking about it because this was Isan's job to lose.
Right.
And he somehow managed to do it. I mean, a over 20 streak in the middle of spring training, nonetheless, isn't really enough to get you cut from a team. And he showed that. Jazz Chisholm is the future shortstop of our team. Isan Diaz is the future second baseman. So it made sense for Isan Diaz to be up at second base getting the reps. And he was just atrocious yet again. So I don't know if it's something with his swing or something mentally that he can't perform in the major leagues, but it's the right decision. Jazz Chisholm didn't have an amazing spring, but he had an average spring. And, when you compare it to what Isan did, that's enough.
Right. And Chisholm was right there with the team last year in the playoffs, and I mean, he has a little bit of experience already. And Isan was really struggling, man. He's been struggling since he got to the majors. It's been a rough path for him after that home run on the Grum. That made,
Great start.
yeah, that made headlines everywhere. It just went downhill from there, right? So, and Jazz, you know what? He, like you said, he can play both shortstop, second base, and maybe third base if needed. And maybe Sandias not being so able to play other positions that play a little bit on that. And you know what? At some point they had to make this decision. They're trying to fight for a playoff spot this season as well. They have one of the best rotations in the league, and they had to decide with. I mean, none of them was really great. And you mentioned something about John Birdie. I think Birdie should play against lefty pitching because I mean Jazz and both and Zan, they didn't look very well against lefty pitching. So on Friday when the Marlins face Ryan Yarbrough, for example, that would be a good day to put John Berry back in the lineup, and the same applies to Corey Dickerson in the outfield. Maybe not a good day to play him. You can play all your righties, all the Garrett Cooper, and all the people that you want to play because they're hitting right now against lefties. So Jazz Chisholm is gonna be the second baseman on Thursday. We'll see what happens on Friday, and of course, Isan Diaz is gonna go to AAA again and he wrecked. I mean, he was great in the minors a couple of years ago, but he's gonna have to do it again and wait for his opportunity. Hopefully for the team, Jazz can hit and we can go over this story already because you know what, Isan Diaz still reminds me of the Christian Yelich trade, right? But I mean, it's Diaz it's Harrison, it's Brinson. They're all
Princeton, yeah.
still lingering around. I
And
mean,
just not performing. I mean,
not performing.
the Marlins have made trades that have produced very solid results. The Yelich trade was just a real fold. Uh,
Yeah.
and as you take those risks when you trade a top star for a lot of prospects, and it's kind of crazy that really none of them have panned out to this point.
Hmm.
But that's the risk you take.
Right, because I mean, those guys were supposed to be already starting in this team. Isan Diaz
Mhm.
should be the second baseman. Lewis Brinson should be the center fielder, and Monte Harrison should be the left fielder or right fielder in this
Mhm.
team already. And they're they're not going to be in opening day. They're not going to be there, and that's just. I guess we have to accept that we just lost that trade, and
Just
then
lost it. Yeah.
just leave it there and keep because life goes on, right? So, all right, let's forget about Christian Yelich for a little bit. We have to talk a little about one trade that happened today. It is James Hoyt going to the Angels in exchange for cash considerations. This decision came because the Marlins are very happy with the two Rule 5 draft picks, and they're going to keep them. And of course, they had to get rid of somebody. And in order to give space to Paul Campbell and Zach Pop, they're traded James Hoyt. So, how do you feel about the Marlins bullpen? That was one of the needs when spring training started, and I guess we have a very solid bullpen group, right?
Yeah, I continually bash the Marlins throughout the offseason for their inaction to find bullpen replacements. Uh, Granted, it was very premature on my end. They went out and they found the guys they need. This bullpen is looking really, really good. It looks stable, which is something the Marlins really haven't. Even last year it was good. I mean, past Yimmy in the eighth and Kinsler in the ninth, which was extremely stable. It was still a little flimsy at points. I think this is going to be, or it's looking to be, one of the most stable bullpens the Marlins have seen in a long time. So I'm excited. I mean, this team with this bullpen just feels like an above average baseball team. We have above average hitters with another year of experience under their belt, an above average bullpen with experience, and one of the most electric rotations in baseball. So the team doesn't look like it's poised to lose like it did last year. Something feels different.
Yeah, especially with the pitching, I feel like that's going to be the key for the Marlins in order to compete. They do have a couple of holes in the lineup. They're trying to somehow put Cooper and Aguilar in the lineup, even though we don't have a DH. So that's going to be a tough decision there for Don Mattingly and see how he can manage to have both, or I don't know,
It's
find a
ridiculous.
way to give both of them a lot of at bats this year because they've been very productive. But yes, I agree with you. The Marlins are based on pitching, and that's going to be a key element of the Marlins trying to compete, right? Because I mean, we
Mhm.
saw it last year. They made the playoffs using I don't know, I don't even remember how many pitchers, and
So many
it was because of them, because of the pitching that
really overperformed last
yes,
season.
put them in the playoffs, and that's going to be a really, really, really very important matter for this team. So before we go in this quick version of Marlins on Tap, we want to invite you for tomorrow night around 8 p.m. We're going to be doing a season preview here in the Five Reasons YouTube channel with the entire Five Reasons crew that's going to be covering the Marlins for you guys, and not only here in the YouTube channel, but also on the website fivereasonsports.com. Before we go, I want to ask you, who would be your starting first baseman? Jesus Aguilar or Garrett Cooper on Thursday?
Garrett Cooper. Okay, who do I think should be the starting first baseman, or who will be the starting first
You
baseman?
can give me both.
Who do I think should be the starting first baseman is Garrett Cooper. I think Garrett Cooper had a better year last year
Mhm.
and has had consistent growth each and every year, and a phenomenal spring training this spring training to add on to it. Garrett Cooper is an everyday player, and the fact that the Marlins don't have the ability to give him that role is a true travesty. Although just because he can't play anywhere else, Jesus Aguilar will be the starting first baseman on Thursday. And to leave Garrett Cooper to platoon between first and right with Adam Duvall. The Marlins' three best hitters are fighting for two positions, which
Right. That's a problem, but I mean, that's a happy problem to have, right? I
Good
guess.
problem to have, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at that way, I mean, you're paying Dickerson to play every day, so I mean, I guess you have to give them at least on opening day the opportunity to be there, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see what Don Mattingly is going to decide. So, thank you guys for joining us. Remember, tomorrow, Wednesday night at 8 p.m., around 8 p.m., we're going to be going live here on the Five Reasons YouTube channel, so you can actually talk to us, give us, of course, your opinions on everything that's going on around the Marlins. How do you feel about the team? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs or not? You can come join us, and we're going to have fun with it here on Marlins Tap. So thank you very much. Welcome back to the baseball season. That's going to start on Thursday, and let's get ready to do it. Have a good one, Christian. See you tomorrow.
Hey, peace, man.